Chapter 1, The Unsolvable Dichotomy, Short-Term, Making the Sale, versus Long-Term, Building the Relationship. As most salespeople know, there's an unsolvable dichotomy between making the sale, the short-term objective, and building the relationship with a client or customer over the long term. As Walter Cabot confirms, the more you chase the holy grail of short-term performance, the less you get in long-term results. So how can you manage this dynamic successfully in negotiations so the client on the other end feels respected by the short-term deal and still wants to forge the long-term relationship as well? The following are a few tips for managing this challenge. First, it's really critical to know your interests and what you're wanting to say yes to in your negotiations and why. And while the sale and price itself are the overarching prizes, what is most important to you on the short-term sale and why? Like most things in life, the short-term sale is not just about money, but about length of contract, when it happens in the sales cycle, number of units sold, delivery schedule, etc. And many of these also help with the long term. Second, consider the following example. Anne is an engineer who works for a small company. Part of her job is to meet with clients and get new business, and part is to actually implement projects once they're secured. In this instance, Anne was meeting with Brian, a representative from a municipality, about a new project. Brian began by laying out what the municipality wanted. Anne was feeling good because she knew her small firm could meet their objectives. Then Brian shared their budget for the project and the tremendous time constraints they were under due to the economy to get more done with less. Anne got a pit in her stomach. She knew there was simply no way she could do this project in that time frame and for that amount. But she too had a problem. Her company desperately needed work, and this one fit very well into their overall business model. Anne did not know what to do at the end of the meeting, so she agreed to think about it. She realized she should have said something about time and budget, but she let it pass, and Brian commented before they left, "I'm so glad the budget and time frame works for you. I was worried it was not possible." At that point, Anne smiled, put the proposal in her folder, and left, feeling awful. The following week, Anne agreed to the proposed contract knowing it was impossible to turn a profit on this job. Her hope, as with many in sales, is this would lead to a long-term relationship and more business. That is how she sold it to her colleagues, but there was no indication about that or agreement to that effect, just a hope. What this example points to is the importance of the first meeting, first contact, and the setting of expectations for both the short-term and long-term. Most would agree that one's success in securing the deal with a new client has to do with the first meeting and how you connect with the client.